From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend. You know, it was pretty uneventful for me. I really didn't do much over the weekend. I did get a chance to go out to Chico and kind of enjoy Bidwell Park out there with my wife. It was just kind of a nice outing, a little bit on the chilly side though, and we're kind of noticing that here as we see the morning hours are getting cold. And even though we have a bit of a warm-up, I mean just a slight warm-up here as we go into the next few days for your daytime highs, we're still starting off those cold mornings, especially in the higher elevations, but it will be dry this week. And really, most of this upcoming weekend, looking pretty dry as well, seeing the potential for maybe a wetter and a cooler pattern moving in for next week. But I mean, that's a long ways out. We've got a lot to kind of get through before we can really set that in stone. We take a look at what we've got going on today, and yeah, you got the mainly sunny skies for the valley, and it is warming up a little bit. We're talking about temperatures in the mid 60s for your daytime highs. Now, of course, for the mountains, it's not going to warm up a whole lot. I mean, we'll be lucky if we get up to about 50 degrees for many of us in the higher elevations, including Siskiyou and Modoc County, not to mention the eastern mountains. And of course, starting off very cold in the mornings. And looking at some of that patchy fog for some of those low-lying inland areas, those mountain valleys as well. We tend to see a lot of that fog develop this time of the year. But there you can see those temperatures are going to be in the mid 50s for the coast, mid to upper 50s inland, and we've got those temperatures in the upper 50s here for Trinity County. So again, quite chilly out there, especially in the higher elevations. We're still seeing some clouds kind of filtering through. High pressure's starting to settle in, it's trying to build, but we're still seeing a lot of these weak disturbances kind of infiltrate, if you will, that ridge of high pressure and allowing some of these clouds to push on through. So at points, yes, we are going to see those sunny skies, but there will be some of those passing clouds. In the meantime, we got a storm system right here. That's generally just heading up to our north because high pressure is going to push that energy to our north. So again, just some of those passing clouds for the week. There's that storm system, even weakening by the time it does hit the Pacific Northwest. Now let's take into the weekend. It's fairly dry. But by late Sunday, we're beginning to see the potential for some wet weather move in. Now, as we start to go into Sunday night and into Monday of next week, yeah, we're looking at the potential for some wet weather. Of course, this is a long way out, right? We're looking about a week away here, and you know we'll have to kind of wait and see if that actually does kind of come to fruition. But bottom line is, we do have dry conditions this week. Next week is looking at the potential for more wet weather. In fact, we look at the precipitation outlook over the next 6 to 10 days. And you can see the area in green here that we're seeing here. That's, again, that potential of seeing some of that wet weather moving in. But we've got to get through this week before we get here. And by the way, initially, it looks like fairly warm storm systems, which would mean snow levels probably above 4,000 or 5,000 feet. So a lot of the lower communities like Mount Shasta City, even Alturas may struggle to see a lot of snow out of these systems as we do go into next week. But again, that's if we do see that wet weather coming in. That's something you have to keep a close eye on, especially if you do have plans for next week. The wave heights are dropping. We're going to notice that here, especially as we go into your Tuesday. So if you do need to be out on the water, looks like conditions are going to be pretty good for you. In fact, we look at our marine forecast for today, and those winds will be from the northwest at 10 to 15 knots. Waves from the west at 7 feet 11 seconds. And there, of course, you can see no advisories. Any showers we do see are mainly this morning, but for the most part, it's a dry day out there today, even for the coast and the higher elevations. So for today, not a bad day. I mean, looking at a lot of sunshine for the valley. It gets a little bit cooler as you head to the south, but generally in the low 60s, especially for the north end of the valley. Now for the mountains, yeah, we're talking 40s, even some low 50s in there for Siskiyou, Modoc, and the eastern mountains. But for Trinity County, inland areas, we're talking upper 50s. And for the coast, upper 50s. Again, that time of the year where we kind of don't see much of a spread between the inland areas and for the coast. And you saw the numbers kind of change. That's because sometimes the map takes a little bit of time to update. But there you can see, of course, generally in the upper 50s for those daytime highs for the coast. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. And again, the dry conditions here all the way through this upcoming weekend. Now, as I mentioned, by Sunday, we're going to be looking at that chance for some showers on the coast. But you can see here, not a whole lot happening. And we're going to be looking at some passing clouds. Temperatures are going to be the 40s and 50s for your highs, but we're not going to see kind of big increases in the temperatures. We're not going to see big drops in those temperatures for the next 7 days. There, of course, we take a look at the valley. And yes, we're starting off in the mid 60s, and we do see a slight dip, but still low to mid 60s for the next 7 days for the valley. Just not much change. Not bad weather if you want the drier weather, right? I mean, we're talking about some pretty decent weather here, great for any outdoor activities you may have planned. Now, we take a look at the coast, and yes, I've included that chance for showers on Sunday. Now, some of the inland areas may get in on that on Sunday as well. For now, I'm keeping Trinity fairly dry at this point with temperatures in the upper 50s. But also, as you can see here, for the inland areas and for Trinity County in general, just not seeing much change in those temperatures. And of course, not to mention the coast.